1 minute remaining. Good evening and welcome, and thanks for joining us. I don't know quite what you're expecting tonight, but just really is an update and a thank you, and we'll have a look at a few things as well, and we'll have a chat about various things that's going on, different television programs, what you've been up to this week, or whatever you want. The show is yours for an hour and a half, and I've got a dog barking at something, I don't know, but we'll have a look at something. Right, first of all, let's go and have a look at the chat, shall we? And in the chat there, first of all, was Mike. World of Mike. Hello, World of Mike. We'll come on to you a bit later on. It also in there is the StreamYard link. If you want to join me, you're quite welcome. We've got Dave Milne. Hi, Dave Milne. We'll be talking about buses later on, definitely. And Mike saying good evening to Dave Milne. And we've got, oh, hang on a minute. Something's gone off here. There we go. There we are. Okay. Right. Well, Mike, thanks for joining this brilliant show. I've waited an agonising 2 weeks for Dave. He's a legend in the bus industry. Well, I don't know about that, Mike. I'm only an average enthusiast. I've owned buses, I've driven buses, I've collected model buses, but that's about it, really, for the past more than 50 years. So, okay. Yeah, you can give me a picture of any bus and knows exactly which it is. Well, 99.9% of the time you probably could, yeah. P40F20, hello P40F20, and thank you ever so much for joining us. And we've got a guest. Hello, Elvis, hello. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, yeah, good, you?
Jolly good, yeah, not so bad. Can you hear me all right, Chris?
Yeah, you're perfect on my end.
Good. Oh, jolly good.
I've been saying there's no sound just now. When I clicked first on YouTube, you was very, he was like on silent.
Oh, yeah. When I first went on?
No, I just clicked on now on YouTube now, and when he was talking, it sounded like he was just miming.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping everybody else can hear me all right. We'll find out in a minute when I go through the chat. I'll just go through the chat a bit more, Chris.
Yeah, no worries.
And then we'll have a chat. Well, Mike says I to Dave Milne, and I to P40F20, and going to make a coffee while waiting. Okay, and good idea. I'm going to have some tea. And what else have we got now? 3 minutes, hurry up. Well, I'm here now.
Fuck, yeah, hello.
Hi, Dave Milne, P40F20.
Hello.
Adrian, all the way from Spain. Thank you ever so much for joining us. And P40F20 saying hello to Adrian. And well, Mike saying hello to Adrian, and Dave Milne saying hello to Adrian. Hope you're enjoying your holiday. Yeah, let's hope you've enjoyed your holiday, Adrian, and let's hope you come back with a suntan, and hope you've enjoyed your birthday too.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
Dave Milne says there's no sound, and I think that was earlier on. And Paul 61C70. Hi, Dave. Hi, Paul. Nice that you've joined us. P40F20 says hi, Chris. And
which Chris is that? So P40F20.
Yeah. And yeah, the sound is fine. Well, thank you very much for that, Dave. Thank you. And I think that's the end of the chat so far. Right. Okay. Well, it's been a rainy day here in East Yorkshire. It's been a terrible rainy day. And I don't particularly want to talk about the weather because it's so depressing. It really is. And all over the country today, it's been raining. It's been sweeping across the country, and it's just heading out now over the North Sea, I believe. So it's just more or less nicely finished. But there we are. Let me just turn that light out a minute. There we are. That might be a bit better. Excuse me. I'm going to be a bit hoarse tonight. Usually donkey, but I'm going to be a bit hoarse.
Going to be horsey.
What do you say, Chris?
You're going to be horsey tonight, you, Dave?
Yeah, a bit horsey. So.
Yeah, horsey. Yeah. Yeah, joking away.
So we've got Izzy Harris. Hi, Izzy. Looking forward to your show. Well, thank you. It's just a bit of an update and a thank you for everybody. And we'll come along and show you a few bits and pieces. Fleetwood J. Hi, Dave and Chris. Are you all right, Fleetwood J? Hope you're okay. Hope Sparkles is okay. And hope Sean's okay too. So, you just woke up. Well, you're lazy. No, I'm only joking. You know I am. It's Sunday. You're entitled to have a lie-in. Right. So, well, the Mike. Wow, Izzy Harris, welcome along. It's from South Africa. Yeah. Well, of course. Yeah, of course. South Africa. Yeah. Dave Mill. He's just woke up. I'll take it. R. Fleetwood from P40. It's raining all day in Leeds, yeah. I think I told you before, Paul, that my daughter used to live in Leeds, and she always used to say it was raining in Leeds, even though it's not that far away. It's only 50 miles away from here. Yeah, it always seems to rain in Leeds for some reason. I don't know whether it's just coming off the Pennines, maybe. Bit of a shame, that, isn't it? Just very hot here in Johannesburg. Yeah, well, lovely part of the world, I believe. My mother visits South Africa on a fairly regular basis. She goes every year if she can. She loves South Africa, and she's been to Joburg, as she calls it, and she's been to Cape Town and several other places. So, was a fire in a block of flats opposite me last night. Oh my goodness me. You don't need that at all, do you, Dave? And Paint with Penny, good evening, Mr. Sir. Well, how are you? Well, good evening to you, Penny. We're all right. We're doing a bit of a stream and a bit of a thank you to everyone that's supported me, and we're going to have a look at a few bits and pieces, and some things that I hope to do in the future. Mike's saying hello, Penny, and good evening, lads and lasses, of course, because there is a few lasses in here as well. So, and excuse me, left Penny show last night. Couldn't see if I could help. Yeah, well, I don't blame you, Dave, because I mean, obviously, if there's something going off like that, then by all means, I would do exactly the same. I really would. Yeah. So, Paint with Penny saying, "Hey, Mike," and charming, Dave. Thanks. Yeah. Well, no doubt you'll get me back.
How are we, Penny?
Hello, Penny, and everybody's saying hello to Penny, and Chris Davis is saying hi all, and Sparkles says hi and sends I love to all. Oh well,
yeah.
Sister Sparkles, thank you very much. Hope you're feeling better. And we've come to the end of the chat for now. Right. Okay. If I find myself shouting a little bit, it's because I've had problems with the sound in the past, and I don't want to be, mumbling at all. I want to be nice and clear. So obviously, I want you to hear me and everything. Just going to have a slurp of my old tea in the Routemaster mug, of course.
It's all the screwing jokes this way.
It could be, Chris. It could be.
Yeah, we'll just
Chris Camplin. Hi, Chris Camplin.
Hi, Chris Camplin.
We're all here tonight, and hopefully you're going to enjoy a bit of something or other.
We're the party tonight, Chris, if you want to join.
Yeah, you can join. It's in the chat if you want to join. It's there if you want to join in. Anyway, let's get down. Let's get down and look at a few things, shall we? And I think some of you saw the camera that I had on at the beginning, and I was showing a bus.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Here we are. Here we are. Well, this is a bus. It's a bus model, more of a toy, I suppose, really, but it's got all the bits and pieces as a Routemaster would have, and of course it's supposed to represent a Routemaster, and it's a lovely bit of kit, really. It's got all the seats inside and the destinations, and the advert's in foreign light, but we know what that means, don't we? Them Jacob's cream crackers, and at the other side it's got one on the other side as well, Jacob's cream crackers, except wherever that comes from they call them Quick. But it does say London Transport. I don't know whether this light's any good or not. Might be a bit of white balance on it. But with the good thing about this is that it is remote control, and I can't show you it running about the table, but I can show you the wheels going.
You're going to go round and round. That's what we'll be seeing next.
And you can see the steering as well.
Yeah.
It has some funny steering, and when it's going forward, the lights come on.
Oh, nice.
Now then, this bit of kit was on my Amazon wish list, and it was kindly bought for me by P40F20. Mark, thank you ever so much. And what you don't know, Mark, is that it's not going to be played with as a toy, even though we've put batteries in it now, of course. But I'm going to put it with the other red Routemasters in the red Routemaster collection. And I think I've told everybody that's connected with the Routemasters on the Routemasters show, and the link's down below, by the way, that I am collecting red Routemasters to go with the other two Routemasters that we're doing. And the idea is that we want to have a collection of red Routemasters, and we want to display them when we take them publicly. We want to display them with the rest of the other two Routemasters that we're doing. So, and to give you an idea of the size of this remote control Routemaster, if I put it just there and move the camera a little bit that way, there's Christine's bus, and that gives you an idea of the size. So it's quite big, isn't it? It's quite big. Yeah, it's very impressive. So once again, P40F20, thank you ever so much, and it's very much appreciated. Thank you. Right, let's turn that off a second, because it's on batteries. And I want to show you something else I was sent this week. And I just mentioned to somebody on the Routemaster show that, on the Routemaster group, sorry, that I liked some of the mods that was going around, and the very next day I got sent this, and it's a modification of a comics, and we all got the schoolboy, didn't we? There he is, the schoolboy figure, and it would be rather nice to have some comics with him. So I got sent that, which was really rather nice. So thank you ever so much to the person that sent me them. Now, what I am going to do is let's come out of there for a second, get my camera back, and here we are. And if I pinch the screen a little bit, if I can do that, Chris. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
I'll show you them. You might be able to see them a little bit better. There's the Stingray and Joe 90. Now, I was actually a fan of Joe 90 in the late 60s, and it was really a nice little program. So here we are. Here is the figure of the schoolboy, which we get with our routemasters. So if I do a camera share now with the other camera, we'll try and pop him on a seat and see what he's like with the and I'll do a dizzy cam.
Dizzy cam.
So there we are. Look, I'll pop him on the seat of Christine's bus on the front seat, and then we'll get Stingray out, shall we? And let's see if I can do it one-handed. Always a job, isn't it? One-handed.
Yeah.
I maybe should rephrase that, should I?
Dave, stop putting the innuendos again, Dave.
Yeah, too many innuendos.
Yeah. I got a story about Joe 90 as well about that.
Have you?
Yeah, you know my dad, right? When he's my dad was nicknamed that apparently. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But he's Joe 90. I don't know why they called him now in work.
Really?
Apparently, yeah.
I used to know a bus driver called Joe 90. Yeah. That was his nickname. There we are. We've put him a Stingray.
Yeah.
Stingray comic. How's about that? Can you see that all right, guys? And do you reckon that'll be all right? I reckon it's quite cool. I reckon that's quite cool, don't you?
Yeah, that was cool. It looks like he's holding it as well.
Yeah, it looks like he's holding it as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let's put him up there in a minute.
Or being a comic would be right as well, wouldn't it?
Pardon?
A Beano one. You know Beano?
Yeah, Beano comic would be quite good as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would. It certainly would. Right, let's come back here a minute, and we'll pop you on the screen as well, Chris.
Yeah,
so, what sort of a day have you had, Chris?
Boring, shitty day. That's all I could say. But crap, nothing to do.
Oh dear. Oh dear. I'm sorry to hear that.
There's nothing to do on Sunday. Sundays are boring anyway.
Yeah.
I just caught up on TV. That's all I done.
Yeah. Well, TV's all right, isn't it? Well, we'll get chatting about TV in a minute. I've got some other things to show and share. So let's go and have a look at the comments again.
Is anything different, Dave, for me?
Yeah, you do look different.
Oh, I mean, what the face like? Glasses?
Yeah.
I've had to shave today as well.
Yeah, well, that's good. Jolly good. So, where was we in the comments?
Below Mike, you said, but after Mike, you said, before Penny, hi, P4 to F20.
Maybe there. Well, maybe there.
Oh, no, you haven't seen the, yeah, there we are.
Oh, Chris can hear me in stereo. I wonder if that's because she's so close to me. I've got nothing else open, so you guys can't hear me in stereo, can you?
I don't know. You sound right to me on my end. So
That was at 10 past, so maybe it's all right now. Right, Chris Camplin's just relaxing at the moment, and
all the scribbling he's doing now.
his practices are Chris, and that's a cool bus there. Yeah, well, it's a cool bus. It's Christine's bus, and
That's how you want it as well.
Unless you meant the red bus, of course.
Yeah, you meant the red bus, Dave. Yeah.
The red bus. Yeah. Thank you. And there we are. Christine's bus, very nice shade of green. Must say, nice forestry green. Yeah. Well, it's actually that green is called middle coach green, and it's a mason's colour, and it's specially made up by a company called Sayers of Northampton, and it's special coach paint, and it's made for the bus industry. And in this instance, it's specially made up for me in spray cans, and that's for spraying on models. And anybody can buy it, of course. You've just got to have the right code, the paint code, and in fact all three of them colours on Christine's bus are coach paints. So there we go. He loves it. Yeah, I know. Well, got to say, Mike, you was a big part of that bus. You really was, and thank you very much for that indeed. Dave Miller loves Stingray. I was a Joe Nanty fan more than anything else. I did like Stingray, but Joe Nanty wasn't too bad, I suppose. And it's fine. All right. Okay, thank you. Right, you both sound okay this end. David Anger. Hi, David Anger. All right.
How are you, Dave?
Was talking to your friend at that trolleybus museum place, and I didn't know whether you've got anywhere with him, have you, or not? But obviously, you'll let me know at some point, and hopefully you're enjoying what you're seeing. I'm quite new at this sort of thing, so, and I'm losing my voice as well, so you must excuse me on that. But it's nice to see you on here. And is that the end of the comments so far?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. What did I want to talk about? Well, I wanted to talk about several subjects, really. I want to talk about television programs, what you're interested in. I want to talk about the bus build. I want to talk about the future, what I want to do. While we're on with the future, what I want to do, I'll just pinch the screen again, Chris.
Yeah.
If you don't mind. And I got sent by a good friend of mine. I'm going to have to do this very carefully because I haven't got permission to share the name or anything. So, right, I got sent a couple of these by Wild of Mike Hanson, and thank you very much indeed. And these are for a future project, laying the track and adding the background to model railways. They're only very thin leaflets, as you can see. They're only very thin, 5 or 6 pages or so, but they're absolutely packed with information of building a model railway. The idea is that I want to build a model railway that I can take about. So it's not got to be too big, maybe 5 foot by 2.5 foot, something like that. And it'll be a diorama type model railway with a bit of a road on it and a bit of a tramway on it and a trackway on it. I'll have buildings on it. I'll have a bit of scenery on it. and just to make it look interesting. And then there'll be like a background fastened to the back of it, so that you know, two people could easily carry it and transport it. So, and I'm only doing a 5 foot by 2.5 or 3 foot because we haven't got an awful lot of room. But I wanted something added extra to take around to the shows with us. And I am thinking that I have a collection of stationary engines, as some of you know, and I'm not going to be taking many of them around much longer. I'm going to keep them because I love my collection of stationary engines, collect Petter stationary engines, and but I'm thinking that I maybe ought to just not take them around as much as what I have been doing, and that's because of my my health. So want to take around something that's easier to take around to the shows, and a lot of this came from the fact that we visited Santoff, the trolleybus museum, early part of the year, and we looked there at several exhibits, and they have a model show once a year, and they have model trains and buses and trolleybuses and goodness knows what. And it'd be nice to get involved in that sort of thing as well. So that's where the idea came from, and we'll see how it goes. I want to get the routemasters finished first. I must stress that. I'm collecting a bit of information, but not anything model wise, because I've obviously got enough on money wise trying to keep up with the routemasters. So you know, obviously we want to try and get the routemasters sorted first. That's a priority, and then anything else will come on top of that later on. And we're going to be treating it as our retirement project, really. You know, we've come to an age now where we're both retired, and you know, we don't have an awful lot of money, but we want to enjoy our retirement as much as we can, without too much stress, obviously. So let's go back to the comments then. Go back to the comments. Thank you, David. Welcome. I started the journey of Chris's Dean's bus. Yeah. Well, you didn't quite start the journey, but we'll go deep into that at a later date. But you did have a big part of it, without a shadow of a doubt. And you will see the finished result in a year's time, and you will be surprised. So, oh, you emailed him, but no reply. Oh, well, yeah, not we can do about that, is there really? You have a shelf track around your entire lounge and kitchen. Wow, I bet that's brilliant to see. I bet that's absolutely brilliant. I did think about doing something like that in this house, but whether we'll stay long term or not, I don't know. And the thought of having to take it down. Dave Mill, wife won't let me do that. David Anger, no, well, I'm not surprised. So what you put there, Mike, you put, oh my God, David, love to see that shop called Hobby on the track shelf around the ceiling. Oh yeah, you have a shop near you, don't you, Mike, that's got this track around the ceiling. I bet that's good to see. I've had a similar experience many years ago in the early 70s. We used to go to a place called Crouch up in Derbyshire, and David Hanger will know this place very well. Yeah, we used to go there in the 70s, and along there used to be a visiting bus, a Dennis single-decker bus of the 1920s. And in that Dennis single-decker bus, there used to be a model train and tramway within the bus itself. And what a lovely exhibit it was, really. It was brilliant. And that's it for the... If I missed your comment, I'm sorry, but there's so many comments, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you ever so much. And I'm also grateful if you're watching for the first time. And what I will say is that if you are watching for the first time, please look at everybody else's channel that's on here, especially in the chat. We've got Chris Davis here that's joined me on stream. Yeah. He's live every Tuesday. He does build the Jaguar, and he does build the Routemaster.
Yeah, I do that because when there's no issues with a Jag, then I do the Routemaster to fill in spots.
Yeah, that's right, you do, yeah. So obviously...
the next would be Routemasters, guys, so just to let you know, I haven't had the issues yet.
Next one's the Routemaster. What issue are you doing, Chris?
58 next.
58?
Yeah, when you do the top, more the roof.
Oh, it's more of the roof, is it?
Yeah, with the you get the back, you know, the back panel of the battery box, and then you do the LEDs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be the next.
Oh, that's grand. Yeah. I forgotten.
Yeah, that's a quick question I want to ask you as well. You know the railway you said is building?
Yeah.
Will it be having running trains running on it, or will it just be a standard?
Yeah, I'll be having trains running on it, yeah. But I think they'll only go up and down more than anything. Or, you know, maybe through a couple of points, maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's
yeah, I want it to work. And I was thinking of the faller system, putting that in as well for the cars.
Yeah.
I have a look into the car here.
Places before.
This is an old Lesney car. You can get the faller system. And so long as you can get the steering right and everything, you can put little cars on it, and they'll go around the track and what have you. And I've got little bits and pieces that I want to put on the diorama, like this little refreshments cabin. In fact, undone. This is a Lesney as well from the 60s, 70s. A little refreshments cabin. Little mobile refreshments cabin. So I want to put little things like that on it, and trees and, you know, bushes and all that sort of thing. So
you don't trim your bus too much, right, Dave?
Oh, there'll be a lot of work to it, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. Right, let's go back. So David Anger says it's only me, so I don't have to answer to a pattern. Right. Oh, well, that's okay then. Yeah. Well, I've got obviously a wife and kids, so even though the kids are grown up and left, but you know. So you do know Crates, yeah. You will do being in that area of the world, yeah. We used to visit it on the Transport Extravaganza, I think they called it, and in the 70s, and we used to stop the weekend. And it was in the chalk. I think it's a chalk quarry, isn't it? And or a quarry. And but the trams there are beautiful. If you get a chance to go, visit Crates Tramway Museum in Derbyshire. It's brilliant. And we've got Gordy B in the house. Hello. Hello, Gordy. Thanks for joining us. And everybody smash that sub button and support Dave. Well, thank you. And I think everybody should support each other as well on this community, like we normally do. So
yeah, everyone's grand.
There's Mike saying hello to Gordy, and I've lost my chat for a minute. It's caught up now. I'll be in and out enjoying the show. That's okay, Gordy. Thank you. I much appreciate your input to the show. And I much appreciate your input to the bus as well, because the bus project, It's much appreciated. Steve Graham. Hi, Steve Graham.
Hi, Steve Graham, how are you?
Doing any mods to your Routemasters, Dave? Yeah. I'm actually painting both our Routemasters on the outsides, and we'll be doing other small mods as well. We're doing one Routemaster, which is Christine's, is going to be painted in the Shillybeers livery, and that was a special livery to do with London transport in the very early days via George Shillybeer. And to commemorate George Shillybeer, who devised the first London transport service in London, in 1979, London Transport themselves took it on themselves to paint 12 Routemasters in George Shillybeer's livery. And then 12 Routemasters was joined by one other fairly modern bus, a Daimler Fleetline at the time, and they was painted in the Shillybeer's livery only for a year, and then there was repainted into London Transport red livery. To cut a long story short, why my wife is painting one in George Shillybeer's livery, and that's because I have a personal friend who owned RM 2208, which was in 1979 painted in George Shillybeer's livery, and he restored that bus when he had it, and he painted it in George Shillybeer's livery, and he actually brought it to a show that me and Christine was doing at the time, a vintage car show that we was organising. We asked him if he'd pop along with the bus, and there was a couple of other buses there, and he very kindly did. He popped along with his bus, RM 2208, and it was lovely. He'd restored it absolutely beautifully. It was really, really nice. And so that sticks in our mind, and more often than not, sticks in Christine's mind, that he was kind enough to bring his bus along to our little vintage car show out in the sticks here. We had about, I don't know, 50 or 60 old cars, and some military vehicles and a few buses, and he said he would kindly bring his bus along. He sold it in a few years back now, but RM 2208 is still around, and it's been repainted back in the 1970s London Transport red livery, and I believe there's only one other RM, in fact it's an RMC, I think, that's painted in George Shillybeer's livery, and I think it was the Mobile Cinema. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I could be wrong, but a lot of these people swap and change the colours of their buses to obviously, you know, represent certain eras in London Transport's history, because we think of London Transport bus as being red, but there's different shades of red, there's different yellow bands that's been on them, there's different adverts that's been on them, there's different liveries that's been on them, you know, there's a whole different kettle of fish. London Transport buses are not just red, haven't just been red, they've been a myriad of colours. So I hope that explains a little bit why I'm doing a George Shillybeer livery coloured bus for Christine. Well, Christine's actually doing it. I'll quickly just show you, Steve Graham, where we're up to on that, because I've got it right next to me now. So if you want to look on your screen, and I'll go full screen, Chris. There is Christine's bus, and it in the George Shillybee livery. That is the Routemaster bus that we're all building,
Where's your
but it's just modified. The colour scheme, that's it's like a dark green. In fact, it's middle coach green they call it,
that looks nice.
and sun yellow. And if you notice, I've got the RM2208 transfers on it, and
Yeah,
I've got its original registration number of CUV208C on the registration number, and we sent for these especially. And I just spin it a little bit. You maybe can see under the cab there. You see under the cab, and we've got the fleet numbers in there, 2208, but we haven't got any other side bits yet, so obviously we can't do nothing about that just yet. But there we go. That's our M2208.
Where's your beauty, Dave?
Pardon?
Where's your one?
Man, it's still in its box.
Well, your Routemaster.
Yeah, it's in its box tonight. So I haven't physically got enough room to show it on the table. Not without moving everything. I will show my bus next time round when I do a next live stream, which is, that's okay with everybody, because I don't want to be getting it out if I don't have to. So, right, so that answers hopefully your question. My bus, Steve Graham, yes, I'm modding my bus. My bus will be representative of the East Yorkshire Motor Services Company liveried bus, which is, I haven't got one to hand. I'll have to go in my cabinet. Just give me a second.
Get a whiskey, Dave.
I want whiskey.
Yeah, cabinet is we get a whiskey out. Joking.
My Routemaster will look like that in that livery.
Yeah,
and
that looks stunning. That does.
And that's obviously the EFE 176 scale livery model. Sorry, and that's going to City Centre Station. Is that one on number 3 route? So yeah, that's what mine will look like.
Are you
it is the Harshett bus that we're actually doing, and I've got it to about the same stage as Christine's. So right, well done, Mike. Are you feeling better, mate? Yeah, you've had a stinker of a headache, haven't you, Mike? So yeah. God, it be.
Come on.
Islam migraine. Yeah, you are. Yeah, I get them, Mike, and I have cocodamol tablets, and generally, if I go take a couple of cocodamol, go lay down in a darkened room for a bit, and just support your neck and everything. Don't
screw it so hard, Mike.
Yeah. And everybody saying hi to one another. Glad you're okay. Thanks, Golly Car. Can't keep up with the chat. Where's the best place to share train stuff with you all? Here, if on my stream, if you want, you can join us on here if you want, or
everyone bites mind.
Share it on here, or maybe a Facebook group, or because I've got loads of train Facebook groups that I've joined. So if I don't know whether we're friends or not, David, but befriend me on Facebook if you want, and then I'll join you onto some of the other groups, and we'll go from there if you want. Remember them, Dave, in the 60s? Yeah. Shows how old we are, Dave, doesn't it? That's really messenger video on YouTube. David shows old. Yeah, yeah, of course you can, David. Yeah.
Wonder who's the youngest on the channel then, because I'm 28.
You're 28.
I'm not 29 next year, no, I am. Yeah.
What on your channel?
You what?
On your channel, Chris?
Next year I'm 29, yeah. But I don't think it'd be when I'm doing a stream though, I don't know.
Looking at Mod in the Bland.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. The Bland. Did you work out the problem with the Bland at the bottom? Is that what you mean? Because I think Penny was working on that idea of maybe putting a couple of washers under it, something very thin washers. I know David Anger's done that issue. So maybe if you and David have a word on the site and see if David got over it all right, or have a look closely at what see if there's anything trapped underneath it, the wires maybe, or if that front can come down any more to give it more onto the cogs so that the cogs spin. Or maybe the fact that when you put your finger in the cab to make the Bland work, does the cog physically have to lift up to do it? You know, you have to lift the cog up and then spin it, or something like that.
We're never going to know what's going to happen yet until it's secured.
Caldecott Bus Spotters. Hi, Caldecott Bus Spotters. Yeah, I'm a great fan of Caldecott Bus Spotters. Here's an East Yorkshire bus model. If you've been watching, I'm looking at your East Yorkshire bus models. That's an older one, obviously, and you was after a single deck model, wasn't you? Did you get one or not? Or there's lots of single deck models. I think he was after a modern coach, was you, or something? There's a single deck East Yorkshire coach model from EFE.
Yeah, that's nice.
They're quite popular. The Harrington Cavalier. Okay. So yeah, good to see you, Caldecott. Well, the make transfer looks stunning, Dave. Thank you. The transfers were from Les Wrangle. Les Wrangle is on Facebook. Is a member of the Model Bus Federation, and I am too. And Les Wrangle is he's got just a normal Facebook page, and is a member of all the model bus groups on Facebook, and he actually will do you any type of transfer that you need. He would do it in any size, any font, so long as you've got measurements and so long as you've got an idea of the font, what sort the font is. He will do it for you. There is a price to pay, obviously, and it doesn't come cheap. But he actually makes them. Sorry, Chris.
You don't get anything free in this country, do you, guys?
No, you don't get anything free. No, that's a fact. Looks fab. Thanks, David. Yeah, it is an interesting story, and you know that's why it's special to Chris. I've got to say that it's also special to Chris, and the bus that I'm doing too is special to me, and that's because of my dad. My dad, they called him Dennis, and he was a bus driver all his life, and he drove for many companies, and he drove all over England, and Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. And he mostly used to drive for East Yorkshire Motor Services. And he drove in the days when there was proper buses, crash gearboxes, um, just a single cab, no power steering, no heating. He drove proper buses, and when he passed away, he had a bus as his hearse. He had actually, if you go to the East Yorkshire Motor Services bus depot and you look inside there, they have what they call an historic bus. And that historic bus is from 1954. And it's an AC Regent with a domed roof on it. And it's in the old East Yorkshire colours. It's in these colours. And his hearse was that bus when he died. And I am so proud that we was able to do that for him, for as a last gesture for what I consider to be a great man. So that's a little something you didn't know. Plus, actual credit to credit to my wife, Gordy, more than anything else. She says, well, I wanted to do this, and I love a challenge, and it's just the little things that are mind-boggling sometimes, and if I can do it, I will. And but yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, they are going to be one brilliant showpiece when they're done. Rise the boy, aye, Rise the boy, hey. Thank you ever so much for joining us, Rise the boy. Get on Rise the Boy's channel if you've got anything to do with lawnmowers or engines or just chit chat in general. Join Rise the Boy's channel and join Mix Mowers channel as well because they're good lads. No swearing involved, and good chit chat about engines and lawnmowers and garden equipment and bits of everything, really. Aren't you, Roy? Thank you. Nice bus, nice colour. Thank you.
That is.
I've worked with the London Transport. Have you really, Roy? Yeah, oh, you'll have to tell me about that someday. Well, for you and for those that don't know, we belong a group, and most of us on here belong a group who are building the 1/12 scale routemasters by Hachette, and they're 27.5 inches long by 14.5 inches high. They come in part works, so they're you get them each week. And me and Christine, that's my wife, we're building two, and we're building one in the Shillybee livery for Christine, and we're building one in an East Yorkshire livery, which is where I come from. And but ironically, they're both obviously London Transport Routemasters, so essentially they are London Routemasters. Okay, I have a YouTube page, not used it in ages. I'll try and get some stuff on there. Well, if you need any help, hints and tips, there's lots of us on here that would give you help, David, including Chris here with me today. Chris is a great help. With Penny's a great help. And any of us on here wouldn't mind helping you out if you get stuck with anything. This is run by through StreamYards, and it used to be another platform, but the other platform went down, and you had to have so many subs and all the rest of it. And but I think I've only got 58 subs or something like that, so I've not got many. And I'm running it live. It's 5 to 9 at night, so If I can do it, mate, you can. That's what I'm going to say to you. You will definitely be able to do it. So, and it's well worth doing. And we'll all join you as well as we'll all get involved, and we'll all give you a hand if we possibly can. Washers, what's made me thinking of? Yeah, for underneath the wheel, Dave, or underneath the screw or something. Yeah, for getting the destination blend to work properly. Yeah, that is a possibility. I think Penny's working on it actually.
Yeah, every 3D printer something like that.
I'd agree, going on a street transform the bus and never seen anything like it. I really enjoyed seeing the updates. Thank you, Mike. Well, I try to give you updates as much as possible. It's difficult to do, and as you know, at the moment we're joining Paint with Penny on a Wednesday. Both me and Fleetwood J and Chris here and Adrian, and we're just sort of stepping in while Alex isn't too good. So, but as soon as Alex is back, we want to step back, and we don't want to take over from Alex or anything.
No,
that would be fair. And but no, we're just sort of stepping into the breach while we can.
Yeah.
I have to lift the cog. Right. So it will lift, and then you'll have to spin the cog to make the blind go up and down. Yeah.
That's one that was even though.
And is that Stevenson's bus Caldecott bus spotters? Looks like ones we get here in Essex. That I don't know. You'll have to ask Caldecott bus spotters about that, Mike.
What's the question? Just ask.
Manchester model. Sorry, Chris.
What's the question Mike just asked? Because I can answer that question for him.
Stevenson's bus.
College's called Spock. There's not Essex. It's from Newport. He runs the same company as Paint with Penny.
Caldecott does, yeah.
Yeah. He runs Penny and College's called Spock. Does a run in the same depot from Newport, so they're both in Wales.
Yeah.
If that's any help, but.
There was a routemasters in Nottingham used as a hearse, is there? Well, I never knew that. At all. I know there's plenty used as wedding vehicles and these party vehicles for kids when they have proms and things like that. But and obviously an awful lot restored. I didn't know there was one used as a hearse in Nottingham.
I've never seen that before.
No. We've got the same wallpaper. Well, funny you should say that, Roy. It may be coming off soon. We're going to have some alterations done to the house shortly. We've got a whole new heating system coming very shortly. We don't exactly know when, but we think we might have to get rid of the wallpaper, which is such a shame because I quite like it actually. And we just painted this sort of, it's not a lime green, but just this light green to go over it, and on this flocked wallpaper, and it just makes it quite nice really with that wallpaper. So we're at 6s and 7s at the moment.
6 and 7, yeah.
Thanks, Dave. You're welcome, Rosa Boy, and you're doing a good job there. And I didn't win your clock today on your thing, but never mind. There'll be another time, no doubt. But I think I was in the competition, but I can understand that I'm a newcomer to your channel, so and I caught up on your stream and I saw you draw the clock and everything. So. Brilliant channel, absolutely brilliant. I was at Chalk Farm Garage in London. Right. I bet there's some guys on here that would know that as well. Chalk Farm Garage in London. Routemasters and lawnmowers. We have it all covered. We do have it all covered here, David. Yeah, you're right. And something else I want to show you as well. The last time I was on, I believe I told you that I was going to build the 19-inch wingspan Lancaster bomber, the remote control one. Well, I found my original advert that I actually saw in Radio Control Models and Electronics in May 1983, and it's that one. I don't know whether you can see it or not. You probably can.
Yeah.
And let me just get rid of that comment if I can.
Yeah, just click the comment again, Dave, and it goes on.
There we are.
Yeah.
So the guy on there, they call him Chris Goulds, and Chris Goulds developed a way of building a remote control aeroplane a lot lighter than anyone else. Chris Goulds, he actually is a really, really good model maker. And he devised this method where you use it's like a foam, a blue foam, and they use it in freezers a lot and things like that. And but this foam, you can glue it and you can shape it and rub it down and do complex curves with it and drill it and screw it and glue it. You can do anything with this foam, but it's so light, it's lightweight. And most of that Lancaster is built with a balsa and a plywood base, just a very thin plywood and very thin balsa shell, shall we say, and then he skins it with foam. And what an absolute brilliant guy. And I've got all the build details here, and I found them out tonight, and that was from May 1983. And I used to have a good friend who was a flight engineer on Lancasters, and he what am I doing? That's it. He, I don't know what I was doing. He used to come and visit me very, very often, and in fact, my photograph I used for my Facebook group, my personal Facebook. I'm sat on the bonnet of a bus. That was his bus that I'm sat on the bonnet of. So he was a flight engineer on Lancasters during the World War II, and he owned a bus, an ex-Croswell Bristol L, and he went all over in that bus. He went to Greece and back 3 times. He went to Germany and back twice in it, and he went to France and Austria many times, and he many times crossed the Pennines from Liverpool, where he used to live, to our house near Hull. And he was a really good friend. And I saw this in this magazine, the RCM&E, as we now know the magazine as, and in 1983 when it first came out. And it was many years later that I decided that I would build a 19-inch wingspan Lancaster. I didn't want it to fly because that would be too nerve-wracking, but I wanted it to, I want the engines to run, but I don't want it to fly. I want to anchor it down. And I think it would be a good backstory to that as well. My friend being a Lancaster bomber flight engineer, and more or less seeing seeing this magazine article at about the same time he was around, and the same time I was traveling around in the bus with him, and I think it'd be a good backstory. Besides that, I'm a Lankaholic anyway. I belong to a little group called the Lankaholics, and every so often we meet up and we go see Just Jane at East Kirkby. And when we see Just Jane at East Kirkby, we all meet up and we get a chance to go very close to Just Jane. We've been, some of us have been inside her, and we've looked around, and we get treated like royalty. And we often have a little fundraising do, because, as you might know, Just Jane is the England's second Lancaster that's probably going to be flying within the next 5 years or so, maybe sooner. And this little group called Lankaholics, we raise a little bit of money, which we give to Just Jane, to just try and help hurry her up, getting her back in the sky, so that hopefully we'll have 2 Lancasters flying within the next 5 years or so, hopefully. Where was we? We've gone off on a tangent. Hope you're still interested, and hope you're finding some interest within this. Same wallpaper, we've been there, haven't we? Thanks, Steve. Chat from London. Lawnmowers, we have it all covered. Great to see such talent. Well, we all try to do as much as what we can, don't we? Some of us have more talent than others, and we learn off one another, and we've got a fantastic community here. And this is why I wanted to try and start this stream going as really a thank you to you. You've supported me with our buses. You've bought us models, you've bought us paperwork, and you've bought us bits and pieces, and I thank you for that. And you've bought other people who are obviously doing this this bus as well, bits and pieces to help them along. So thank you ever so much for that, because it's very much appreciated. From our personal point of view, we're really struggling to afford to actually build them and paint them, these 2 buses that we're doing. But it's a lifetime's achievement that I want to do. I've known that this bus has been coming out for a long time, maybe about 4 years, and it's just that it was in the sky, it was pie in the sky idea. I've never been involved with it until I actually bought it at the newsagents, and I joined the original Facebook group and everything. And but I have known about it for a long time on the internet, and believe you me, it's been a long time coming as a model like this. Previous to that, all we had was, mostly 1/76 scale models like this. Well, of course, obviously they're only small, so the biggest model you could get was the 1/24 scale model Routemasters. That's probably the biggest one you could get in the series, apart from the toy one that came out in the 60s, which I've forgotten the name of right now, but I'm sure you'll tell me, that kids used to ride on, didn't they? Let's go back to the chat. Sorry if I'm boring you, Chris. Are you all right?
I'm good, yeah, just listening to be honest.
Okay.
I just enjoy listening to, because it's marvellous.
There's Penny.
There you, Penny.
Cool, God, oh, gone too far. There we are. Cold Copper Spotters says, hey, Penny.
Hey, let's go.
Nice that we help each other out. Yeah, well, that's what life's about, isn't it? You know, if we can't help each other out, there's something wrong there, isn't there? You know, we've got to be doing something, right? If we're helping somebody out.
Yeah, we're all doing everything we can do to help each other out, and that's what's some good thing about it.
Yeah, I missed the stream of the prayers today. I watched it on catch up, and I must admit I did fast forward it because I didn't have an awful lot of time, and I kept thinking, have they drawn it? Have they drawn it? And I thought, well, no, they haven't drawn it. And then I think you said, or Mick said that they had an hour, they was going to draw it on the hour. So then I just waited until the draw. He did it absolutely fair. It was really fair and really nice.
I'd like to see
PD2 build, yeah. You and me too, Dave. We're of a similar. I would like to see a PD2 built in East Yorkshire, and that's for my own personal reasons with the domed roof. But I have a certain soft spot for a certain East Yorkshire bus, a Leyland PD2 that was fleet number 633, SRH 633. I have a soft spot for that bus, and in actual fact, it is for sale. It is for sale, but it won't come my way, sadly. No, buses and profiles. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Chris, much appreciated. We've got so much chat to go through. Yeah, is that your son, Dave? No, Chris is just a friend here. Chris here is a friend. Get my finger pointing right.
that way. Yeah, right.
Chris here is a friend. Is in Wales, sunny Wales. Well, it isn't sunny today, but no, it's just a good friend. No, my son lives in a town called Tadcaster in Yorkshire. Make the screen smaller.
Make the screen what?
Make the screen smaller. Oh, it must have been when we were showing. Yeah, did you see the clock? I did see the clock, Roy. Yeah, it was brilliant. You made an absolute brilliant job of that clock. If you get a chance and you see Roy's the Boys channel, go and have a look at the clock that is made. If you're into lawnmowers, a lawnmower has a cowling cover over it with the pull start on it, doesn't it? Well, the cowling cover and the pull start, he made a clock of that you could put on the wall. And what a brilliant job it was, really. No, Chris Davis is builder. Yeah, with the YouTuber. Yeah, you've answered that for me, Dave. Thanks.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, we're always on shooting.
Yeah, they call my son Lee. With Penny, lovely. So, wish I had the time and the money to build a Harshep Routemaster trolley bus. Yes, absolutely, yes. That's the problem. What you did with that bus was amazing. Well, you did it with 3 or 4 buses, really, didn't you? Because you built
some building it up for the body and stuff.
Yeah, the Revel kit, Chris. David Hanger there. He built a 3-axle trolley bus Routemaster out of 2 Revel Routemaster kits, and then he made a Routemaster RM because the Revel kit is RML, so that means it's the longer version. So what David did, he converted it to the shorter version, the RM, and what a marvelous job he did there. Absolutely brilliant.
Awesome.
First class. You'd have to sell your Lexus first. Yeah, well, and kits are so dear nowadays, aren't they? It's ridiculous, really.
Yeah, I haven't seen that before. There's one, so I'll have to look it up.
But yeah, just go back to David a minute. I mean, what an achievement that would be. I hope at some point in the future you could do that with the Harshep Routemaster. That would be absolutely something special, wouldn't it? It really would.
That'd be so awesome to see that.
What we've got here, laughing out loud, and make. Really? Well, we're like brothers, mate. We're like brothers. Yeah. I've got the DeAgostini Spitfire to build, and I've got a DC3. That's 88-inch wingspan to build, and a few engines and such like. I'm going to be doing these buses first before I touch anything else, because I've got loads on, and as you know, I've got a shed full of stationary engines, which I'll also be YouTubing as well. So,
before you take a comment off, Dave, I'm going to ask Rory a question.
Gonna ask
Rory the question.
Right.
RC planes you make, right, Rory? Do you sell them, or do you just make them and display them? That sounds interesting, that does.
Yeah, absolutely. You can join his channel, Chris.
Yeah, I'm doing now. What am I?
Right away. I think if anybody that wants to join anybody else's channel on here, you go into the chat and click on their avatar or their name, and it brings up 3 dots, and then it gives you an option to go to their channel. Then you can go to their channel, and then you sub the channel. Don't forget, when you sub to the channel, also give the bell icon a ring, and then give them a like, share, and subscribe. I'm getting tired now, guys, but here we go. David Anger was kindly sent to me by a YouTuber. It goes in my bus collection that Dave inspired me to do. Well, I'm glad I inspired you to do it, Mike, because I think I showed you my cabinet behind me. There's, I don't know, 80 or 90 models in there, I think, all of this sort of size. And it's only what I've collected and what's been special to me throughout the years. There is some of my dad's models in there, and I will never ever part with whatever I've got in there because it's so special to me. And it would be unfair of me to have any more cabinets around the house because obviously I've shared this house with Christine, and there's some special things around the house that's special to Christine as well, and me, of course.
Exactly. When you're married, you've got to share everything in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there on that one and that one. I have 2 trolleybuses in Newcastle livery, and that's great, Dave Mel. It's nice that everybody's talking really nice in the chat and getting on really well. Thank you ever so much for that. Shot myself sound. Good collection of northeast buses. Yeah, because you're from the northeast, aren't you, Dave? So, yeah, I understand exactly where you're coming from. Most of mine are Yorkshire, except for the first 3 shelves, I think it is, where they're a bit of a mixture of everywhere. But most of them are Yorkshire. The Flying Club and the old Lancaster Pathfinder Squadron Airbase. Wow, absolutely. I bet that is absolutely brilliant to go to, Roy, because thinking about that, it must tug at your heartstrings really every time you visit the place. I know when we go to East Kirkby and we see Just Jim and we have a few hours there, you're hard pressed not to burst into tears because the emotion of what happened, the emotion of what them lads and lasses went through, and the aftermath as well of the 55,000 people that lost their lives at Bomber Command, and all them that didn't get the recognition for many years after the Second World War. It really does tug at your heartstrings when you're involved at places like that.
Yeah.
Sorry for being quiet. I have a printer in bits and I'm enjoying the chatting in the background. Well, it makes a change. Some
Oh,
nearly fell off my chair as well. So it makes a change, Penny, that I'm yakking, I suppose, rather than you. But you're quite welcome to join if you want. It's not a problem.
it's what
And you're quite welcome to just listen in the background. I'm quite happy for you to do that. And like I've said before, Penny, I don't want to take over from anything that you or anybody else is doing. I just wanted to make it like a thank you and a special. Um, I'm not going to be doing another live for about 3 or 4 weeks, I think, because there's other things on in the next 3 or 4 Sundays. Fleetwood J and yourself have some special ones coming up on the Sundays. So on the 20th and the 27th, I know yourself and Fleetwood J have got some special ones coming up with the Fiats, and you're doing the Saturdays with the tractor, the Wednesdays with the Routemasters.
yeah.
So I don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Gonna clash. That's all we're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, if I said I'll do another one within next 4 weeks or something, and then we'll pick a date sometime. I mean, that'll be November then, won't it? Early November.
Yeah.
So we'll pick a date early November when I can be rabbling on again, if you like. And by that time, I might have a bit more to show you on our Routemasters, and I might have a bit more to show you on some other things as well.
Oh, yeah, Dave. I've got a question for you to ask about your bus.
What's that?
Have you had issue 80 yet, or still waiting for it?
I'm still waiting for issue 80.
That's way too long now, isn't it?
I've been joined by the dog. This is Willow.
Oh, well, look,
Did you want to come and join in, Willow?
did he not look at me when I called it Willow Red?
Apart from nearly falling off my chair, and
So,
we're getting there, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, let's hope you can sort that printer out, Penny. If you've got problems with it, good God. Let's hope you can sort it out.
Yeah.
Paint with Penny. Yeah, you be careful. Yeah, get it unplugged as well. Don't go messing about with it if it's plugged into the mains. We don't want to miss that.
So that shit, right?
It's all good, Mike. It's making some upgrades. Oh, that's all right. So thank you. I mean, thank you for joining me tonight. It's much appreciated.
I'm just enjoying myself.
And have we got to the bottom of the chat? Have we?
Yeah, no, you
got. Sweet, nice one, Penny. Interested in buying the tractor. Use your PayPal and the master. Definitely be up for that one. So you're interested in buying the tractor and definitely up for it if you accept bank transfer. So you'll have to talk to Penny about that. What you make? Yeah, okay. And is that the end? Have I got to the end of the chat?
Honest, Dave.
I think I've got to. Oh no, there's some more.
Yes, I just. Yeah.
You're going to keep me going all night, aren't you?
Yeah, guys, keep people.
All right, Roy's the boy. He makes them and flies them.
Oh yeah. I think yeah.
Okay, so he makes them and flies them, Chris.
Yeah,
so,
Rory, want to sub to my channel? If I've subbed to you as well, so you both can look at your content as well. Then
that's a good idea, Chris. Yeah, and then you can keep going with one another, can't you? And talk about remote control planes.
That sounds interesting. I'm interested now.
Chris Davis is my favourite drink.
What drink is that? And
what drink is that, Mike? I mean, maybe it tells you a bit further on in the chat. I don't know, Mike. Can I do that? I can do that for you. You need to buy the electronics yourself, right? Okay. So you've obviously answered, Mike. Paint with Penny in the comments. So yeah, Mike. Paint with Penny can do that for you, and if you read the comments, Mike. I'll send you the filament and you can cover the postage, blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
well,
Yeah,
now.
that's going to be great, isn't it? That's going to be great if we can have another tractor on the go. They still have some of the buildings there, right? So, wow, that's brilliant. Where I go, the Trolleybus Museum, Sandtoft, just across the river from here in North Lincolnshire, they have the Trolleybus Museum on an ex-RAF base, and Lancasters and Wellingtons and something else used to fly from there, I think. And they run the trolleybuses around the circuit, and that's still on the old original concrete of where the bombers used to ride on as they was coming out the hangars and what have you. So it's so emotional. Let me wait for blue and silver tractor, if that's okay. A blue and silver tractor. Yeah, well, that'll be a Ford then, probably, Mike.
The Christmassy one, he wants Dave.
A Christmassy one, does he? A bit later on, does he? It's now a farm. Yeah, yeah. Most of them, a lot of them were turned into farms, right? With the with the old RAF bases. Where's the message gone? There.
Yeah.
Keep losing the message. Sorry about that, guys. And sorry if I miss a message too. If I miss one, just put it again in the comments and I'll come across it. I did start off horse, and I'm definitely going to be donkey by the end of the night.
What are you going to be, Dave? A three-legged one? Will you be wonky donkey?
Yeah, wonky donkey. Yeah. well, this is lemonade, so you'll have to believe me on that one. It's not gin, even though I have got some gin.
Yeah, I just drink a pop. So sorry.
Pop.
Yeah.
Make dirt buy from my wish list. I'll message you about it. Yeah. Okay, so Paint with Penny to Mike for dirt buy from his wish list. She'll message you about it.
Yeah, Penny.
And okay, no problems, Penny. And
yeah,
is that the end of the comments? Have I missed any comments, Chris?
No, you're doing well. But I've got a question for you as well, Penny. What's the thought about me doing the tractor as well? Do you think you could do the 3D print for me, or are you going to sort something out with me?
Why can't I put the? Why can't I put the screen on you, Chris? I don't know.
Oh, you can do it. You got there's like a, you know where my photo is?
There we are. There we are.
Yeah. So, Pen, I'm just wondering, what's the situation about me doing a tractor as well, and shall I wait to discuss it with you when you come down next? And then we go from there then. Yeah, Dave. Did I put you back on, Dave, if you want?
All right, I was just having a cough moment.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So if anyone's got me to ask about my builds or anything, just shout in the comments below.
Yeah, no, because obviously you're building the Jaguar, and the Jaguar is 1/8 scale, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it 1/8? 1/8 scale or 1/10 scale? I think it's 1/8 or 1/10 scale, isn't it? Pen with Penny said. Sorry, Chris, can you repeat that?
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
Away from the microphone, I think.
Yeah, Dave. If Mike, I mean, Pen. Oh, let me get the words out. Penny, I mean, Penny. If you know the tractor build I said I want to do as well. Do you think you could do the 3D prints for me, or are we sorting out a printer out on my end to do it? Mr. there?
I think she'll still be there, yeah.
Yeah, because it just froze a bit then.
Yeah, no, I'm still here. I'm still here if you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still ticking away. I think we're still there, all right. Yeah.
Because we're quiet then.
So where we got a bit lost in the chat now. Okay.
No, that's it.
Okay, no problems, Penny. I really want one. Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully you've got sorted now, Mike. Yeah, gin and tonic, Dave. Yeah. Well,
G&T, yeah, favours.
I went into my local shop and where I buy the Routemasters from, and the amount of times that I've been in, and they've said to me, "Oh, your issue 18 isn't in, but we've got these," and the amount of times that I've been into the shop and I've been stood in front of somebody and they've been buying this gin, and it's rhubarb and it's rhubarb and ginger. Rhubarb and ginger, I think it is. Rhubarb and ginger gin. And I thought, oh, that sounds nice. Sounds nice. A bit of good. So anyway, I got one of them scratch cards and I won a bit on the scratch cards, and I thought, I'm going to have a bottle of that. And so I did. Anyway, it's really good. A bit too good. And every time I think about having some, I have to go on stream, or I have to drive, or I have to do something. So I've only had a tiny bit, and I've drank all the lemonade that I bought with it.
Don't drink and drive now, right?
So let's go move down a bit. Sorry, Chris, can you put it down? Outer skin of the Routemasters, the destination panel, frame, and upper front panel is all metal.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Is the rest of the paneling going to be metal, do you think? My understanding was that it was plastic. Oh, Dave, yeah, well, I am hoping with hope that it's all going to be metal. I've got issue 86, or both me and Chris have got issue 86 for our Routemasters, and I noticed that there was metal. I think around the destination, is that plastic, or is it the inner one around the upper deck windows? Is that plastic? I haven't actually taken them out of the plastic packaging yet, so difficult to tell. So I'm hoping that the outer panels are going to be metal.
Yeah, it looks like they are.
I mean, what do you think, Chris? Do you think there will be metal?
Yeah, because if you look at the destination bind out of the wall, which people put on Facebook at the minute.
Yeah,
that's metal. We've got the bonnets metal. We've got the wings are metal. So I reckon they all could be metal.
Yeah, well, that's a good theology about it, I suppose, isn't it? If the rest of it, the outside bits are metal, then I noticed that the back inside panel inside the entrance at the back is plastic.
Yeah.
So that's the only bit of plastic on the outside so far, but it's not really outside, is it? It's sort of inside-ish.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm hoping so. Because metal's easier for me to paint. I seem to get a better finish on the metal.
Yeah.
With the plastic, I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping I can get a good finish on the plastic, and I think plastic sometimes looks like plastic, if you know what I mean. That might sound a bit silly, but I noticed the plastic around the windows. When you look really closely, it is plastic, and so. But I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
Chris, it depends if a new printer getting is good. I'll be buying 2 on one. I'll be leaving one at yours. Otherwise, I'll have to do them for you.
Yeah, no,
So
Penny, yeah, fine. Don't,
okay, so there's your answer, Chris. David,
yeah,
I think it will be metal, especially as the front end is all metal in the latest issue.
yeah,
Yeah, well, that's what we're hoping for, isn't it?
exactly.
I don't
It'd be
think
heavy
I've,
quicker than
where does that one? I'm hoping it's metal too. And inner destination panel is plastic. Ah, right. Okay. So, and there have to be lights put in, and I think the in the inner panel. Yeah, I was thinking about that, Dave, because the light panel that we've been given is the two light panels that we've been given either for the rear destination blinds. Now, are the rear destination blinds going to be adjustable, or are they going to be fixed? And then that's going to cause me another problem. Somebody very kindly on here is making me a blind for the front, but there is a very rear destination blind, and there's one over the entrance, the rear entrance. So if there's going to be two there, then if they're a London destination, then that's obviously going to cause me problems for my whole bus.
Yeah.
But I'll have to have a word with my friend. Hopefully, we'll get model space sorted out tomorrow for the Fiat live. Hopefully next Sunday. Yes, yeah, that's what I was saying, Fleetwood. That the next two Sundays we believe are booked up, the 20th of October and the 27th of October for you and Penny. I think it was between you sorting out dates for your Fiat bills, and then there's your box to do and everything, isn't they? And ukulele coming and all sorts of bits and pieces of special bits and pieces coming up on your channel.
Yeah, there's loads. Yeah, even the caravan be coming on his channel as well.
Even the caravan, yeah.
That'd be rocket. What if Fleetwood?
I think have we come to the end of the chat? I think we've come to the end of the chat.
Yeah, we have.
Yes. Can I have a breather? It's a pity I haven't got anything else to show you, but we've done really, really well, and I'm really grateful. We've been going nearly an hour and 40 minutes, and I don't know how many people have been watching or anything, and I don't know. I'm hoping that everybody's hit the like button, and
don't hit the dislike button, guys. Just hit the thumbs up button. That's what we like to see, not that one.
Yeah, no, we don't like to see that one. And I personally, when I'm doing when I'm looking at YouTube, that's what I was going to talk about as well. When I'm looking at YouTube, even if the video is I don't like it, I even give it a thumbs up because the person who's done it has taken the time and the effort to actually do something for somebody else, whether it be right or wrong. And I'm the type of guy that if you try and do something, then I do appreciate that, and I do give a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And I think it's only fair. So
I say, Dave, if anyone's got a problem, why dislike it? Just write in the box below, then the comments.
That's a fair comment, Chris. If anybody doesn't like the stream for any reason, let us know. Let us know what you want to see, or if you want me to be quiet more, or if you want to see any other person or guest, or any other thing that we can show you, or if we can improve it somewhere, please help us that way as well.
Yeah, that's all.
Fleetwood J Renault 4 is the 27th of October, so that's going to be an interesting one. The Renault 4.
I haven't seen it yet, but
and David Anger, you've done great, David and Chris. Well, thank you, David. It's certainly taken it out of my voice.
Yeah, but the thing is, very inspiring, and that's what I'm all about.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's well, we try and share the community a bit more, don't we? We should try and share, what goes around comes around, and all that sort of thing. And if I'm hopefully kind to you guys, you'll spread it around and you'll be kind to other guys. So
yeah, hang on, David.
I gave the petter a good coat of diesel with a brush, hoping it will soften the dirt and oil to clean it. Well, funny you should say that, because I'm on with a 1953 Petter A1 at the moment, and my son got me from the village where it was sold to, brand new, in Brigg in Lincolnshire, and it was sold by my son's company actually. They sold it new in 1953 to this farm, and it's been on this farm all its life. And that was confirmed by the guy that I shared you the email with, who has the Petter Day books from the factory itself. And that engine was on an elevator, and it was taken off the elevator, and a little Villiers engine was put on this elevator, and the Petter engine was chucked to one side in the barn, and it was left for a total of about 35 to 40 years, and until my son said, could I buy that for my dad? And because he collects stationary engines as well, does my son. And it's given me a bit of problems at the moment. I keep losing the spark on it, and I think I'm going to have to really have a look at the magneto. The coil is absolutely perfect. When you test the coil with the multimeter, it's absolutely perfect. And I think, yes, I've got a multimeter here. I think I've told you that, and the other guys on the stream, that if you've got a multimeter like this one, I'll just take the screen again, Chris.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, it's fine. Carry on.
And not comment down. And I've got a multimeter like. And if you've got a multimeter like this, which I'm sure you have, just put the red one on the spark plug lead, right at the spark plug tip where it joins to the spark plug, and then the black one, get it into the magneto side and scratch it on the side, and then set this to, I believe it's 20k at the bottom there, 20k at the bottom. That's where I set it to, and test it that way. And if you get a reading of 450 to 650 or even higher, then that's a damn good coil that you'll have on your magneto. Any less than 450 and you'll be struggling to get a spark. I have a reading of excuse me, 700 on this coil, on this magneto that I'm doing, and it's actually a weak spark, and I'm thinking now that it'll be the condenser that's at fault, because the condenser is actually outside of the magneto, which is a typical farm wag dodge. A farm labourer might have done that at some point. Instead of stripping the magneto down, they'll have just wired it to the outside, because the Petters are notoriously difficult to work on sometimes, and they're notoriously difficult to get timed properly as well. My main concern with timing is if you've got a problem with timing on a Petter A1, Roy, my main advice to you is the aluminium side cover where you crank it that side, take that off and you'll see the timing marks on the other side of the magneto, the cogs, and line the timing marks up properly. A lot of people take the magneto off and they turn it a little bit and they put it back in, and they turn it a little bit and put it back in, but they can't see the timing marks at the other side. So I do all mine like that. I strip them completely down and get the timing marks exactly right. The hardest one that I had to do was the reverse rotation Petter A1, because that had not only the original right-hand rotation timing marks on it, but it had left-hand rotation timing marks on it, and it had extra timing marks on it that somebody else had put on it, and it had me like this for ages. But I did it. So let's get you back on the stream again, Chris.
Yeah.
And we'll try and go through these a bit more. Yeah, that's the way Roy is. Coat them in diesel, give them a good coating, leave it for a week or so. Generally, kerosene is better. Kerosene wax into them better. Paraffin, kerosene, something like that. That'll get into it. But diesel's as good. It stinks though, does diesel, doesn't it?
Petrol's worse than that.
Yeah, petrol's worse, but some goes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike. That's much appreciated.
Yeah, we all like home guys.
I'm losing my voice. I was going to go on about YouTube. I've done a video on how to test coins. Oh, that's brilliant. I'll have a look at that one. Right, thank you. We come to the end of the chat. Okay, thanks. Okay, all right, thank you. Right. I was going to chat about YouTube in general and the sort of things that I watch and television and what have you. And I've started linking up now what I watch on the television to what I watch on YouTube. And I started doing that a couple of weeks back when, is it Channel 4, the Great Model Railway Challenge started, and I got really, really interested in that. And I know it's a bit of a swizz of a program, but there's some serious modeling going on in there, and they have to build to a theme each week. And there's 15 teams, and each week 3 teams have a go at building these themed railways. And there's two judges there. And one of the guys on the show is involved in motoring programs as well. And they've made this show for, I don't know how many weeks, 15 weeks, I suppose, quite a few weeks anyway. And it's the second series. I actually missed the first series, which is such a shame. I suppose I could find it on catch up or something. Anyway, I was looking through some model railway YouTube sites one day, and I said, "Oh, there's one," and it's more or less connected to the Great Model Railway Challenge, and it was actually devised by one of the ladies that got involved in one of the builds in the Great Model Railway Challenge, and her channel, she has a YouTube channel all about trains and various bits and pieces, heritage, and she's an author of books and science and all the rest of it. And that sent me off then on another tangent of, oh, I wonder what else I can find. And so how good is that in this day and age now that we can watch a television program of something that we might be interested in, or we might have a special hobby in or something. And then we can also go onto our computers or devices,
Yeah.
and we can find the same type of hobby, not necessarily through the television, obviously, through people's personal YouTube channels, and we can carry on that hobby looking at different things. And I suppose like you could do that with almost anything. Like I like Bake Off, the Bake Off series, where they're baking cakes each week, and 3, 2, 1 bake and all that, and ready steady cook and all that sort of thing. And so I like watching stuff like that. And there is a few cooking things on YouTube as well, which is brilliant. So
you've got Amazon Prime as well, which is good as well.
Prime.
Amazon Prime videos.
Amazon Prime videos are good, are they?
Yeah, if you look, they've got TV series on there. They've got everything on it. Amazon Prime. If you look at the Prime membership.
Yeah. I'll have to have a look on there.
Netflix.
Yeah. I'm not subscribed to Netflix, but
I haven't even not paying for it.
Okay, so David Angler, the inner window frame of the front destinations were made of fiberglass on RMs, so it all seems so realistic. I'm sure it'll all be metal. Yeah, let's hope so, Gordy. As I was saying earlier, we was on about destinations, and we have a worry on at the moment that the light panels that we've been given, are they for the rear ones, or are they for the front ones, and we'll get some extensions? That we don't know. It's a bit conjecture at the moment. And then also, if they're for the rear ones, does that mean then we're going to have rear destinations blinds with destinations on? Then I'm then in a bit of another predicament of rear destinations that are in the Hull, in the London destinations and not in the Hull ones. So
yeah, but the thing, Dave.
Yes.
With that destinations, they've got to be front and back, so then, but otherwise one half of the bus be going somewhere, and then the back rear end will be going somewhere different.
Yeah, it's a pity they don't have dual doors then, isn't it? So you could say to the passenger.
I think the back ones, what the conductors change.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, the conductor should do them all, really.
Yeah, all the clippies.
Yeah, clippers. Yeah. Is it easy to get the magneto off? Yes and no. A couple of bolts. Because it's an A1 yours, isn't it? A couple of bolts, and it's like under the carburetor. So my suggestion to you is, yes, undo them couple of nuts, top and bottom of the magneto, and try and pull it back towards the cowling. But be very careful when you do so, because inside there, there's a magneto drive, and in that magneto drive it's like made of fiber, so be very careful, Roy, that you preserve that fiber drive. You'll see it when you pull the magneto apart anyway, and be very careful that that magneto drive goes back in. I usually smear a bit of grease on it and put it back in so it stays there, then put the magneto back in.
Yeah.
So as Rapton TV, Chris.
Oh yeah, no worries. Like I was just seeing a comment. Yeah, thing I haven't used it.
That foreign channel?
I don't know. I never heard of it.
I missed a comment there. I like photography through YouTube. That's interesting, Dave. My dad used to be heavily into photography. He had a camera as a school kid, and he took loads of pictures of buses, just as a subject. And then in the late 60s and early 70s, he used to sell the pictures to other bus enthusiasts because they was all interested in buying his pictures. So what he did, he sold a few pictures, and he then put that into bus preservation. Say they were saving for a bus part for a real bus. In them days, very expensive thing to do. My dad used to help him out a bit by selling a few photographs. Dave, if you do a video on how to test a magneto, you'll get a load of views. Yeah, that's all in hand, Roy. I want to do that, and that's one of my main reasons, one of my other reasons, really, for setting up my YouTube channel. I want to do a set of instructional videos, especially for the PETA A and the PETA A1 and the PETA W1 series of engines. And that's because mainly newcomers to the hobby of stationary engines buy PETA A1s or A's, and they can't really grasp the ins and outs of these engines, and they are a bit difficult to work on. But once you get them running right, there's nothing finer. And as I say, once you do get them running right, I have a reverse rotation A1, which you've seen on my YouTube channel, and that runs absolutely spot on. It really is nice, and but I've got everything spot on it. So, and I want to try and teach people how to just time their engines up a little bit, or clean a carburetor out, or fault find a little bit. So yeah, there'll be bits to come now and again. I'm not promising straight away, but there will be. Obviously, I'm going to be a busy person in my retirement.
Yeah.
Check out this, Dave. This, has he shared something? All right, okay. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Goddie. Oh, thank you ever so much. Yeah, that's much appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, just the thought that struck me about, yeah, they have rear destinations, and how would I get over that one? Because as Chris rightly said, you'd have the front end of the bus going one way and the other end of the bus going. There'd be 400 miles difference in between each destination.
Yeah. So that reminds me of the buses episode when I'm going to somewhere else, and then it was going, yeah.
Mine's an A2. Yeah, right. Yours is an A2. Yeah, yours is actually the first series of the A1. If I've explained that right. There wasn't actually an A series 2 of the A type. There was an A2 or A11. The A2 is an early version of the A1. That sounds a bit double Dutch to those that don't know anything about PETA A1 engines. But basically, the PETA A was first from 1936 until 1945. Then, for a very short period of time, from 1945 to 1945, was the A2, which is yours, or the A11. And then for the rest of the time, from 1946 to 1968 was the 1951, 1946 to 1951 was the A1. Then from 1951 to 1968, it's the A1 Series 2. Now, anybody can get really confused about that. I mean, I get confused about it. So
Yeah.
it's basically saying that you've got an early A1, which is great. There's not many around, and you might have brass cogs in it as well. Some of them had brass cogs. Sold, excuse me. I sold cameras on New Oxford Street, when Jacobs was still around. I lived in Kingston upon Thames. I swapped buses at Putney East Terminus and caught the 14 routemasters to Centre Point every day. Wow, absolutely brilliant. Well, as a kid, David, I used to go around all the very early rallies in East Yorkshire coach type double-decker bus. And we used to come down to London. We used to come down to Earls Court, and we used to go to Earls Court exhibitions. We used to do the London to Brighton HCVS run, the Historic Commercial Vehicle Society run. We used to go to all the garages, and we used to go to the early museum. And we used to do that in the days before much of motorways. And so obviously I was a small boy, but I was riding on routemasters when I was a small boy, when we was in London, when we had the chance. I was also looking underneath routemasters in the garages, and watching them being serviced and everything. We used to have special garage tours because we was part of a bus enthusiast group, and these garage tours used to be all over England. And yeah, I've been down to London a couple of times, quite a few times, and our special privilege honour was to get involved in the London Transport Museum, and we used to get our photographs and everything taken by a London newspaper and what have you, and the London enthusiasts. That these East Yorkshire enthusiasts would come down and bring their bus, and we was allowed on the London museum buses, and the very old ones too. You know, the very early First World War ones, and what an honour and a privilege it was in them days. So, okay, right boy, and is it not an A11? No, it's an A2 or an A11. It's no, it's not an A11. An A2 or an A11. Mine's 1947. Yes, yeah, it's still the very early series. What that means, Rice Boy, is your engine would have possibly have been made anywhere between 1945 and 1947. It will be an early one. It's difficult to pinpoint at the factory where your engine will have been made exactly. And that's because the records that our friend's got there, he's got the records of when there was sold out from the factory, and it doesn't give you a true record of when there was made in the factory. I've had this many times with many of my engines. You can estimate that, you know, but that date of 1947 is spot on. There was made in the early 40s. Sorry, in the 40s, from 45 onwards up until about 47, and then there would have been there would have become the A1 after that date, the Petter A1. Sardine and tie rope 14. Some characters getting on and off. I bet there was, yeah. lady sat in the same place as the bench seat. She looked just like an old lady on our RM build. Well, funny you should say that too, David. A local celebrity to here who was born in Hull, Maureen Lipman, who is in Coronation Street at the moment
What's
as
the name?
Tyrone's grandma. She actually bears a funny resemblance to that old lady we've got on the Routemasters, isn't she?
Dave.
Yes.
Was in Coronation Street, you said?
Pardon?
Was in Coronation Street?
Maureen Lipman.
What was she plays in? Oh, what's the name in Coronation Street then?
She's Tyrone's grandma.
Oh, yeah. I know you got now, yeah.
Yeah.
I did listen to it.
Tyrone's grandma. So,
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
So, Chris, you got 40 now.
Yeah. I had 40 the other day, but someone unsubscribed, so now I'll go back to it 40.
Thanks. And right, yeah. Well, it's sold in 47. Yeah, that's right. It's sold in 47. So, yeah, that's exactly right. You can edge your bet that within a year or so it was made. It wouldn't have been hanging around the factory that long, I don't think. It's very difficult to pinpoint that absolute exact date on it. If you look very carefully on your magneto, if it's the original one, and if you look very carefully on your carburetor, and it's the original one, you will be able to find a date on both of them. But look very, very carefully.
Yeah.
Also, look out for on the cowling. There's a little tiny 5p stamp, which will give you an idea on the cowling. I think I've shared a picture of that somewhere. I can soon share another picture of it anyway for you. My comments keep going. Indeed, laughing out loud. Yes, indeed, Maureen Lipman. Indeed, yeah. Yeah, many characters in London. I can tell you for certain. Many characters all over England.
Yeah, I know.
Seen a few in my day. I was a coach driver, David, and I've taken. Put it this way: I'm unshockable. I've seen it all.
Yeah.
So is that the end of the comments, guys? Is that the end of the comments?
Yeah, for now, yeah.
Did I miss anything?
No.
Well, I think at 10 past 10 or thereabouts, I think I'm going to give it up for one night. I'm absolutely hoarse. I've had a lovely time. Horse or donkey, one or the other.
If you're drunk, you'd be like a wonky donkey, but
wonky donkey. Let me just have another drink.
Yeah.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it, actually. It's been hard work, but I've enjoyed it, and let's hope we've all enjoyed it and we've all got something out of it. Even if you just have a laugh at me, I don't care.
That's what you get a thumbs up.
Thumbs up if you like. Thank you very much, guys. And I'm gonna just pass it over to Chris for 5 minutes to have a chat with you. And there you go, Chris.
Yeah, everyone, if you want to subscribe to my channel, there'll be builds on Tuesday evenings, 8 o'clock. Normally do the Jag builds, the Jaggy type, but if there's no issues with the Jag, I'm doing the Routemasters as well, so you get a bit of both. I do the bus, Routemasters, or Jag. But the Jag is the mostly thing I want to do on my channel, but if I haven't got the issues, it'd just be the bus issues, and you're more than welcome to join me. I've been on it. Tuesday evenings, 8 o'clock, kick off. So guys, yeah. Be back to Dave if you want.
Let me go like that.
Yeah.
make it fair. Right. I'm going to say I've enjoyed your company, Chris. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. It's you know it takes something to come on somebody's show and
Yeah.
especially through my chatter. I hope you've all gained a little bit of something out of the show tonight. And we've been going what 2 hours, nearly 2.25 hours, I suppose, by the time we've said our goodbyes. So thank you for that, Chris. Who's on your stream on Tuesday?
I'm not sure yet, guys, but if anyone wants to join me on Tuesday night, just drop me a message on the group or just drop me a Facebook message. If anyone can help me on Tuesday night, that'd be great.
That'd be great if somebody could help you out, because to read the instructions and what have you. And Chris is really good. He'll help you with anything. He'll send you the bits and pieces that you need to share screen and what have you. And
everyone goes, so just let me know.
And at the moment, as he says, is having to build an issue of build the routemasters he thinks, but he's normally building the Jaguar. What a superb model that is. It really is. So and please, while you're here, please like, share and subscribe to all these good people here in the chat that's been very helpful to giving me lots of questions and things to talk about tonight. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm thoroughly knackered, but that's great. So long as we're all happy. And please think about things we can talk about next time. I'll do another one in about three weeks' time or something like that. It may be 4 weeks' time, depending on what's happening in the community. I don't want to step on anybody's toes, because obviously, we share alike in this community. It's been really good that you've been able to join us, even on the chat, or if you've just been watching me. Thanks for watching me. I really appreciate that. I appreciate Chris Davis here for coming and joining me. And come and join me next time if you want. Any of you. We're allowed up to 6 people on this StreamYard, so we can always sort something out that way. Well, the Mike there says 4 weeks, crikey. Well, there's a lot of things going off, Mike, actually. So it might be 3 weeks. Early November, I think. So something like that. But there's a lot of things going off. I don't want to step on anybody's toes, you see, Mike, and it's share and share alike. So
sharing, guys, if you understand,
And then I want to enjoy, all you guys' streams as well, and if I'm doing a stream, then I can't enjoy your live stream, can I? So
we're gonna have people who will clash, and then we're gonna be flicked then.
That's right, yeah. So we've got to look at things.
Yeah, gotta respectfully just look at things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, we like innuendos. We don't like rudeness, but just be polite on everyone's channel, and we all will get on fine.
Yeah. Just like we had tonight. I mean, we've had a laugh tonight, haven't we? About Wonky Donkey and what have you.
With jokes and stuff like that, but don't take it too far, guys. Don't upset no one.
No.
Channels.
No, we can't do that, because at the end of the day, this might be live now, late on the night, but we don't know who's going to watch it during the day. And
but it might offend someone, and then someone might think that's not very nice, and then we don't know conflict like.
Yeah. That's right. We don't want no conflict at the end of the day. So anyway, I'm gonna pass you over to Chris to say his goodbyes.
Yeah.
There you go, Chris.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Like and share and subscribe to Dave, the marvelous Dave. He's been brilliant tonight, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it myself. Even though sometimes I might be looking at it, I don't, but I am enjoying it, to be honest. And I will see you Tuesday night, guys. More the merrier. Just join into my channel as well. Tuesday evening, I'll be live 8 o'clock with a co-host, and then so go from it. Maybe a guest also.
Thank you ever so much, Chris, for joining me, and and thank you everybody who's come along tonight, and I wish you all a good night, a peaceful night, and and we'll catch you all along the stream somewhere along the line within the community, and thank you ever so much for joining me. Good night everybody.
Take care all, and we'll see you again. Take care of yourself.
Bye bye now.
Bye bye all.